On this channel, we talk all about the virtues of living in Southwest Washington and the Portland metro area. And in this video, you don't have to take my word for it because I'm gonna let money.com toot our own horn because one of our cities locally was named one of the best 50 places to live in the entire country. To find out which one and why, stay tuned. Welcome back to Living in the Pacific Northwest with Hal Bird. I'm Hal Bird. I'm a local licensed real estate broker and realtor in the Portland metro and Vancouver, Washington areas. I cover these counties right here. And I'm so glad that you're here to learn more about probably one of the best cities in our area. It was just named by money.com as one of the top 50 places to live in the country. And so I'm super excited to talk about it because when my husband and I were relocating 6 years ago, we didn't have any of the information that we share on this channel. We have dozens and dozens of videos talking about relocation. You can hear from our clients. You can see our client events. You can hear me talk about different neighborhoods and the benefits. And we try to give you such a broad, rich, information-filled, valuable experience when you're here on our channel. And in turn, that means that dozens of you have decided to relocate here and work with us and our team, Bird's Eye Real Estate Group. So if you are considering a move, whether it's to or within the Southwest Washington and Portland metro areas, we would be honored to be of service to you. You can reach out to us. Our Zoom link is in the description below. You can text me at 360-818-4438. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Pacific Northwest, you gotta make sure to shoot me a text. If you've been here before, you've heard that. So we're gonna jump right in. This is gonna be a quick and concise video. Money.com, as of 2024, has named Camas, Washington as one of the top 50 places to live in the country. This is such a huge accolade for our area and development. And this conveniently came out right around the late springtime. So it really set the already hot Camas market on fire. It's been so competitive the past few months placing clients in Camas. And part of my job as a relocation expert and specialist is to help you identify what areas you need. There's some criteria I think we all think about. We think about safety, we think about schools, we think about the type of home we can get. We think about access to amenities and outdoor activities and lifestyles and airports and grocery stores and all of these things. And I, for each one of my clients, take their specific criteria and come up with recommendations of not just cities to live in, but neighborhoods and specific subdivisions if I think that we need to get that granular to find them the right home. My biggest goal is to help you find a home that you will love for years to come, whether you stay there on the shorter end, like 2 years, or it's the last house you ever buy. That is honestly at the heart of what my team and I do. And it's so important to us. We put so much care and thought and concern and mindfulness into our clients that I really hope that conveys because it's something that we really do this business with heart. And now that the word is out about Camas, I just know more and more people are going to be moving here and I want to be able to help you in this process. So that's why we're making this video today. We want people to know about the great areas that there are to live in when it comes to the Portland metro area. And you can hear some of my clients talk about that. Actually, we just posted a video at one of our client events. And in this video, you can hear their thought process about Camas as well. So this is significant because money.com is such a household name. I mean, Money Magazine and now money.com is just so widely recognized. It's such a household name. And to have such widespread national recognition on our town, I think is just such a cool experience, but also so healthy for our local area because there's always going to be migration. There's people moving in and out of places all the time. And I think for anyone, wherever you live, you want to have great people and great neighbors and ideas and entrepreneurs and you know, all of the facets that make a healthy community. When we're looking at the methodology that money.com used, you know, they're looking at the health of the local job market. They're looking at housing costs for both homeowners and renters. They're looking at how much poverty there is. They're looking at the quality of public schools. And then they're also grouping them into a ranking where they have suburbs that have a soul, which I think we have a few suburbs that really have a good soul and a good feel to them here in Southwest Washington, where my husband and I live. Then you have like hidden gems that they were looking out for. I think Camas is a hidden gem. You hear Portland and you don't automatically associate Portland, Oregon with anything to do with Washington because they're two separate states. But in reality, this section of Washington is a suburb of Portland. And so, you know, you've got this kind of hidden gem aspect. There's a lot of criteria that money.com has put into this, and I think it just reflects so highly on Camas and also our greater Southwest Washington area. And as someone who lives here, I would say that one of the things that makes Camas so unique is that you have this flair in the downtown area that is very quintessential historical mill town. You can feel it. I mean, the mill is right there, so it's hard to ignore, which some people have mixed opinions of. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And actually, my husband Jarrett thinks that the mill will actually become a really cool, like hip industrial area that's gonna have probably like restaurants and apartments and stuff at some point in the future. Obviously, they probably have some environmental cleanup to do, but even the downtown as it is now is just so cute. Like, it's almost like you could see it in a Hallmark movie. It's adorable. And all the events they put on are just so great. So you have this small town vibe in the southeast area of the city of Camas. But then on the west side, you have all the amenities, the glorious suburbs. So you've got what I call, should I say that, the nice Walmart? I'm keeping it real. Like, if I have to go to Walmart if we're out and about, that's probably the Walmart that I would rather go to in Clark County. Although the Woodland Walmart is really nice also. And then you've got Costco, you've got Home Depot and Lowe's and grocery stores and restaurants and schools. So I think it's really special because it gives you the best of both worlds. Like, you can kind of choose your flavor of the day. Do you need the suburban lifestyle? Do you need to run to the airport? Or do you want to have like a cute, quaint downtown day? Do you want to go to Crown Park on Easter and participate in the public Easter egg hunt that they put on for kids every year? There's something about that Camas just has such a rich, family-oriented, wholesome vibe to it. And I think it makes it really special. And the fact that you're less than 30 minutes, I mean, you're really, depending on what part of town you're in, you're 15, 20 minutes to an international airport. Where I grew up in Southern California, to get that at the relative price point that we are here, I mean, you have to be much farther from the airport because of urban sprawl. And due to our topography, it kind of limits our urban sprawl in some ways in the best way possible, because it means that you can live in an amazing city like Camas with all of the amenities that it has, which we're going to talk about, and still, you know, conduct and access all the city amenities as well in Portland. Camas has grown quite a bit. Right now, there's about 26,000 people that live in Camas. So kind of a medium-sized town. It is expected to continue to rise, especially with the development of the North Shore. That's going to bring more housing units into Camas, which is desperately needed. As of the time of this video, in terms of large new construction developments, there are only two. There's a couple more that are coming online, and then there's some smaller subdivisions. You know, we're talking 10 to 20 homes. A lot of those are custom or on the luxury side of things. Camas is the most expensive town in Southwest Washington from a housing cost standpoint. So Camas is not the place to like penny pinch when it comes to housing. There you can find a couple of deals, but also Camas is the one place that I have clients come to me and say it's Camas or bust. Like, we're only living in Camas, nowhere else. And you know, other places it's like, well, I could do, you know, Ridgefield or Battleground, I could do Ridgefield or Camas, but if someone's set on somewhere, it's usually Camas. And as we're looking at some of the development that's coming, not just to the city of Camas, but to Clark County overall with the I-5 bridge replacement and multiple waterfront developments going on, you know, we have literally billions and billions of dollars coming into our community that is going to stimulate our economy and provide jobs and enrich our quality of life even more. And I can't tell you over the next 10, 20 years how excited Jarrett and I are to be here, because we feel like Southwest Washington, and even more so Camas, is going to be like the Bellevue of Seattle. Like, I think that Seattle is to Bellevue as Portland is to Camas. I think that we're just going to have this better and better and better value proposition as to why Camas is such a great place to live. So let's talk about those top reasons. One of the reasons that makes Camas so great is access to natural beauty and outdoor activities. There are so many trails in such a small area. You have the Lacamas Lake Trail, you have all the trails around Round Lake. You can go mountain biking, hiking, walking, running, kayaking. You can go stand-up paddleboarding. There's just so many cool things to do just in the city. And then you have access to the gorge. Because you're a little bit more east than Vancouver, you're actually just one town out of the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area, which has endless amounts of hikes and views and activities. And the gorge is such a special place. I'm so glad that it's a protected area because it's such a gem of our area. So whether you want to be hiking, biking, being active and outdoorsy in the county, or you want to go out into the gorge or go onto the Oregon side, you can do that all so easily from Camas. The next reason that makes Camas such a great place to live is it has such a strong community and quality of life. I think we've went over some of this in terms of the tight-knit community, a lot of the family-friendly activities. So if you have kids, I think Camas is a great place to live just because of the events. But even if you're in Vancouver, I mean, you can go and partake in these events that the city is putting on. These are just great community building events, great ways to meet other people who live in the area. And it's not just for families. I have clients who are retirees there that are incredibly happy with Camas, and it's still a place, Southwest Washington, where people are neighborly, and you don't necessarily know your neighbor's politics. You just look out for each other and are friendly regardless of all of the things that we can be divided over these days. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's my political statement for the video. And you just see around town, like, there's definitely a pride of being in Camas, and it is, I talked about it in this video, what they don't tell you about living in Camas. It is a bit of a status symbol. There's a store in downtown Camas called Papermaker Pride, and they have stuff that's the high school mascot, so they have stuff related to that, but also just related to Camas. It's like a local store that you can just tell the community takes pride in, and you see people out and about in their merchandise. The third reason why people love Camas, and one of the top reasons to live there, is excellent schools. That is, I would say, the driving factor of people deciding to move there. Is I hear clients over and over again, they talk about the schools. And if you look at almost any ranking site, you'll see that Camas is ranked usually the highest, or among the top. There might be a school district here or there that's tied with them. Hi, Hawkinson. Nobody talks enough about Hawkinson School District, but anyway. Camas is consistently ranked across the board, some of the best schools, not just in Southwest Washington, but in the whole Portland metro area. So I would really dig into that research and especially look at like test scores and student activities and satisfaction. And a lot of people feel like they really get a good value. And so when you're looking at, do I live in another area, another city, and send my kid to private school? Or do I, pay a little bit more for the house and send my kids to public school? You might actually be saving money. You pay more for the house that is going to appreciate, as homes do historically, and then you save money on sending your kid to public school. I'm not saying that you need to send your kid to private school if you don't live in Camas, but there are people who want a private school quality education. I know there's a lot of debate on it, so don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you what I'm speaking to my clients about. So if that's the consideration for you and your family, do we go to private school or do we buy in Camas and go to public school? You may actually be saving money, even though the house might cost more. And I laid it all out in this video, so just watch it. Jared's laughing at me. And then lastly, to me, is number 4, proximity to Portland and Vancouver. Vancouver in and of itself is just a great, well-rounded city. And there's so many events. The waterfront has created this proof of concept so that now the port of Camas and Washougal are also developing their own smaller version of a waterfront. But you can have access to these, restaurants and events like the concerts and movies that are going on in the parks at the waterfront and all around Vancouver. You can take advantage of shows and the theater and the symphony and the Timbers games and like all the big city stuff that you can get in Portland without having to live in it. That was something that we've always loved. Is I don't necessarily want to live in the city, although there are some neighborhoods in Portland like Irvington that make it very tempting. But to be able to have that access, it creates such a high quality of life. And even if Camas isn't for you, there's an old saying that a rising tide lifts all boats. And Camas and this money.com ranking really mirror and reflect what's going on in Southwest Washington as a whole. So whether you're looking to move to Vancouver or Battleground or Washougal or Ridgefield, you are going to get some of the benefit of the things that have caused Camas to be in one of the top 50 places. We're getting that vicariously, just if you're in Clark County as a whole. So super grateful to our county and city leadership for the direction that they're taking our region. I can't tell you how bright the future is here. And I think if you come visit, you'll see how friendly the people are, how happy people are to be here. And it just feels really good. And if you would like to know more about Camas, I'd love to hear if you want me to do a video about all of the upcoming developments and plans that the city has to take Camas into the future. So we can talk about some of the city plans, infrastructure, housing, all the new developments. So drop in the comments if that's something that you want to hear. And so I know I'm going on and on, and I wanted to keep this short, but it's so hard because once I get started talking about it, about, you know, the different areas, I love talking to people about it. I feel so fond of our areas and wanting to share it that I get a little bit excited and carried away. So I don't know how long this video is. Thank you for sticking around. I will say in closing, you definitely want to check out our other videos about Camas so you can learn more about this amazing city and see if it's something for you. I'm sure that money.com didn't get it wrong. And if you do move here, I hope you are enjoying it. Teaser for the next video we're posting after this, which is why I think that Ridgefield is about just 10, 15 years behind Camas. I think Ridgefield is the next Camas, and we're going to talk about why. We did a video about this a couple years ago here, but here's our new one, and you can watch both of them, and you can see how Ridgefield has such a bright future also. I wouldn't be surprised if Ridgefield makes this list at some point in the next 10 years. So that's all, folks. Thank you for being here. Make sure you're subscribed, like this video, leave a comment, and if you need any help with your relocation, or you could be moving to this area, moving away from this area, or just within, we would be happy to help you with your real estate needs. We'll catch you next time. Ciao.